Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am just Mike. You are watching and you are listening to episode number 51 of the Rock Out Wild Show. Now, if you are new to this video, if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below this very video. You can also like or dislike this episode of the Rock Out Wild Show. And tell everyone you know, from your family to your friends to your coworkers to your acquaintances. Tell everyone what the Rock Out Wild Show is all about. And there's also a share button down below this very video as well. You can share this on all of your social media sites, from your Facebook to your Instagram to your X or Twitter or Blue Sky or YouTube, what have you. Let everyone know what the Rock Out Wild Show is all about. Again, I am your host, Just Mike, and this will be the final Rock Out Wild episode of the year 2025. I am here. It's episode 51, and I'm going to go out with a bang because the main event of this very episode of the Rock Out Wild Show, I will review a movie that has celebrated its 30th anniversary this past Monday on December the 15th. This movie came out in 1995 on that very day, and it celebrates its 30th year this year, and that is my review for Michael Mann's Heat. I am looking forward to reviewing this movie, to say the very least. And if you see the movie, you will know why that is. Also on the docket, because there's going to be no Rock Out Wild episode next week, which is Christmas Eve, I thought I'd throw in a little bit of a Christmas special vibe in this episode, as well as I will rank the top 50 Christmas songs according to an article from TimeOut.com. So I will be going over that. And to kick things off, well, before I get into the kickoff for this very episode, I will also take a look at on this day for December the 17th in the world of film, television, wrestling, and music. There's going to be no sports because I've done a number of sports topics the past couple of weeks, so we're going to leave that out just for this week. And we're just going to focus on the stuff that made the Rock Out Wild Show famous. And that is music, film and television, a little bit of Christmas stuff, and a couple of movie things. And I'm going to react to my movie review for a movie called Blackhat, starring Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth. That's right. Chris Hemsworth in this movie became a computer hacker. More on that in just a bit. Now, to kick things off, I'm going to deviate a little bit from the format here. I'm going to save the review reaction in just a little bit later on because I want to share something with you all. Now, this is episode 51, obviously. So, to celebrate 50 episodes of the Rock Out Wild Show, what I've done the past couple of days was gather up all the Rock Out Wild episodes and see what episodes have the most views. I go to rank them, the top 25 Rock Out Wild episodes according to the most views as of this point. Now, as I'm recording this is December the 4th, so the numbers could change as the 17th might roll around then. But with that said, I am going to give a little bit of an icebreaker at first. So here are the top 25 Rock Out Wild episodes from 25 to 1 that have the most views, and there's a few of them. Number 25, 24, and 23 all have 22 views. Now, we have episode 45, which I covered the Hailstorm songs and albums on that episode. Episode 38, which was my top 30 favorite solo female singers and artists episode. And episode 9, which was my favorite match from every WWE WrestleMania. Those 3 episodes of the Rock Out Wild Show got 22 views. Number 22 on this list is episode 2, What Movies Mean to Me, and this episode gained 23 views. And number 21 on this list is episode 14, and this was part 1 of when I ranked all 40 WrestleManias from my least favorite to most favorite. This was from number 40 to number 21. That episode got 24 views. Also, an episode that got 24 views was the Halloween special. That comes in at number 20. That was episode number 44, where I went over my top 20 supernatural episodes as well as my top 20 favorite horror movies of all time. Number 19 on this list is episode number 3. In the main event for this episode, I went over what professional wrestling means to me. That episode gained 25 views up until December the 4th. Coming in at number 18 on this list, episode number 39. And on this episode, I gave a retrospective review on the Within Temptation live concert Black Symphony, which gained 25 views. Also, another episode that gained 25 views at number 17 on this list was episode 15, and this was part 2 of my WrestleMania rankings from my least favorite to most favorite. This was number 22, number 1. Coming in at number 16 on this list is episode number 6. And on this episode in the main event, I reviewed one of my favorite shows of all time, Firefly, which gained 28 views. Number 14 is episode number 21. And in the main event, I talked about Epica's album as Spiral, plus their songs, my top 20 favorite Epica songs, as well as all studio albums from Epica ranked from my least favorite to most favorite. And that episode gained 29 views. Number 13 is episode number 36. And on this episode, in the main event, was my Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and shows tier list, which gained 30 views. Number 12 is episode 40. And this was the episode where I gave my top 10 reasons why I love the movie Serenity, which is based off the series Firefly a few years later. That episode gained 31 views. Number 11 on this list, episode 19. And that episode, in the main event, I went behind the scenes of how I developed and wrote down the Mick Rock top 10 songs of the week and what goes on behind the scenes in terms of all that. And I announced that 2025 is my final year doing the top 10 countdown songs. That episode gained 31 views. And then we get into the top 10 portion of this list. Number 10 is episode number 13. And in the main event, I ranked all of Undertaker's WrestleMania matches from my least favorite to most favorite. And that episode got 35 views. Oh, and the one before that where I talked about the top 10, that gained 33 views. Number 9, episode 23. And in the main event, I went over TimeOut's top 100 movies you need to see at least once, part 2. So I was covering number 50 to number 1 on this list. That episode gained 36 views. Coming in at number 8 on this list, the very first episode of the Rock Out Wild Show, How Music Changed My Life, was the main event for that very episode. And that gained 36 views, and I can see why. It was the first of its kind. Number 7 on this list is episode number 18. And on this episode, in the main event, I went over an article from Indeed.com about improving your public speaking tips. That episode gained 39 views up until this point. Coming in at number 6, the top 50 Dixer episodes according to Episode Ninja, which was episode number 28. And that episode of the Rock Out Wild Show gained 40 views. Now we only have 5 left, and coming in at number 5, episode 27. And this episode gained 44 views. And again, Dexter themed, I went over my Dexter villains tier list in the main event for that episode. Number 4 on this list, episode 32. And on this episode, this was my Within Temptation top, I think, 20 or 30 songs of all time. Plus, I ranked all other studio albums from my least favorite to most favorite. That episode, episode 32, got 46 views. Number 3 on this list is episode 43. And on this episode, I went over the top 50 best horror movies you need to see before you die. That episode garnered 48 views on the Rock Out Wild Show. Coming in the runner-up position at number 2 on the top 25 Rock Out Wild episodes, according to the most view count it got, was episode number 34, where I ranked all of Hulk Hogan's WrestleMania matches from my least favorite to the most favorite. It was my way of honoring the legacy of the Hulkster himself, brother. That episode gained 51 views. And at number 1, the episode that gained the most views so far on the Rock Out Wild Show, from episode 1 to episode 50, is episode number 26, where I went over my Dexter seasons. And on that episode, the main event, I ranked the Dexter seasons from my least favorite to the most favorite, including the new season of Dexter Resurrection. That episode gained 68 views, and I could see why, because Dexter Resurrection was the hot thing at the time when I recorded the episode and when I aired it, so it was perfectly timed. That was just one of those occurrences where that got a lot of attention, and I absolutely love it because of that. So that list was my top 25 Rock Out Wild episodes that gained the most views from 25 to number 1. So that's the icebreaker opening for this very episode of the Rock Out Wild Show, episode 51. Let's transition now, shall we, to my movie review reaction. For this, I'm going to take a look at my old movie review for a movie called Blackhat, starring Chris Hemsworth. So, let's get it going, shall we? Let us present. Share screen. And let's go to the review. And let's make sure the audio is on. Perfect. And let's react. And we should go full screen now, obviously. All right, let's go. In 3, 2, 1, action.
Chris Hemsworth used a small little hammer to defeat one of the bad guys in this movie. Subliminal message, anyone?
Yeah, that was definitely a subliminal message. Absolutely. Now, before I get into my reaction to this movie review, let's take a wild guess to see how many points I gave this movie. I'm going to guess 62 points out of 100. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm wrong. Let's see how far off I am. Let's go.
Hey, what is up, all movie fans in the movieverse? Welcome to the Mike McRock movie review show. Right now, I'm going to review Blackhat. And Blackhat is an action crime movie about a hacker who is a convict. Now he has to get out of prison to help out the government to get rid of these bad guys that stole money, that hacked money out of the system. And now They get the one guy who is really good at hacking. He's really good at what he does. He's perfect at what he does.
Yep.
And he has to solve the case that the FBI has been given to him. And he has to hack it to the NSA and things of that nature. And it's really techy. This movie's really, really techy. So if you go into this
Now, if you probably don't know what I'm saying, my guess is that there's a lot of technology talk in this episode. Either you know technology talk or you don't. That's just the way it is.
movie, expect this to probably complicate you a lot if you don't know a lot
Yeah.
about computers.
Yeah.
But if you can get past that, then you'll generally know and basically know what this movie is actually really about. And it's really a simple movie. There's nothing special about this movie. This is not a great movie. It's an okay kind of movie.
Yeah, middle
I
of the
think
road.
if it weren't for Chris Hemsworth in this movie, I think this movie would have been a complete disaster.
I agree.
And which brings me to Chris Hemsworth in this movie, and he plays the main character. I felt like that Chris Hemsworth does have this charismatic presence about him, and I think he showed a little bit of badassery in this movie when it comes to his fighting in the action sequences in this movie. Chris Hemsworth was solid and he was functional in this movie.
Yeah.
The only problem is that the movie makes him really dull and boring because of the way this movie has been scripted. It's very limited. It's very poor. The way the dialogue in this movie was really, really off. And
Sure.
I think going back and looking at this movie, you just can't help but really nitpick almost everything about this movie. It's kind of like Taken 3.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those movies, after watching it, you can just go back and say, yeah, why did that happen? I really have no idea. But moving on, also Viola Davis in this movie, I thought she had a couple of good funny moments, a couple of one-liners, and that was all right. And there's also some familiar faces in this movie that you'll probably recognize as well.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to the relationship in this movie with Chris Hemsworth and this one girl, why, oh, why did this movie even go there in the first place? I have no idea.
That's a good question.
I mean, this whole relationship with Chris Hemsworth and this really cute Chinese girl, I might say, just did not work at all. There was no chemistry between the two of them. It was like the movie wanted you to care about these two, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was a very forced, very shoved down your throat, did not feel real, did not feel believable at all.
2 words: forced and contrived. Shout out to you. You know who I'm talking about.
I just did not buy into the relationship that was going on in this movie. And with that said, the bad guys too as well. These were just the most low-life, cliche bad guys that you've seen too many times in movies like this.
Generic.
And this is one of those movies where when you've seen it all before, you don't really need to see this one because you've seen it all before.
It's all been done.
However, this movie did have some glimmers of hope. I liked some elements in this movie. This wasn't all that bad. This was an okay movie, like I said, but there were some good, unexpected moments that felt really effective. One moment actually made me jump, and I was like, oh, thank God, there's some life in this movie, because this movie, the way it was paced, was just way, way, way too long for this movie. And this movie could have been a lot better if this movie was an hour and 45 minutes instead of 2 hours and 13 minutes, I do believe it was.
Yes.
And with that said,
I'm sorry, but 2 hours and 13 minutes for a movie like this, that should have been trimmed by a good 20 minutes. I'm just saying.
Going back to what I liked about this movie, there were some things that I did like the cinematography. I like the handheld camera shots, and it wasn't shaky cam. This felt like that the camera guy was right there with Chris Hemsworth while he was fighting, and the way some of the action was done in this movie, it felt really cool. Even some of the night lights, in the night, just gliding down and showing the world as it is in that city, felt really cool and edgy. And the action it was actually pretty good. The way the gunshots were used felt very real. It felt like that they were gunshots. It felt like you were there in that moment. And at times, it felt like a 90s throwback action movie. Uh,
Um, Gunshots, throwback 90s action. Spoilers.
when there was no action in this movie, it just felt very boring and dreadful. Almost fell asleep a couple of times. I mean, you can have a really good movie when you have a good script and a good story with action scenes, and this movie never really delivered on that part. It delivered on the action and did not deliver at all with the story and the plot. Whole thing was a mess.
Yeah.
I will give this movie a pass, however, and I will say that Blackhat delivered 61 points out of 100. And if you saw this movie, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. And you can also hit that subscribe button as well to get McRocked.
Again, off by one freaking point. I swear I'm not doing that on purpose. 61 points out of 100. I said 62. Oh, that was a close one. Again. Anyway, so would I watch this movie again? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give this a time. There's just nothing to this other than Chris Hemsworth. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to know. Very forgettable. I probably will never ever watch this movie ever again if I ever come across it. So that pretty much sums it up there in retrospective. And that was my reaction to my old movie review from 10 years ago, Blackhat. Now let's go over the things that you normally see on the Rock Out Loud show, and that's on this day for December the 17th. Let's start it off with film and television, shall we? So let's present, share screen, and let's go. So, what happened in film and television for December the 17th in years past? Let's see. In 1902, FrankWiedekind's play Der Ehrgeiz premieres in Berlin, and I probably butchered that to Kingdom Come. In 1936, ventriloquist Edgar Bergen and dummy Charlie McCarthy appear on TV. In 1947, WEWS TV Channel 5 in Cleveland, Ohio begins broadcasting. In 1949, Tennessee Williams stage drama A Streetcar Named Desire, starring Jessica Tandy, Marlon Brando, and Kim Hunter, and directed by Eliza Kazan, closes at Ethel Barrymore Theater in New York City after 855 performances, winning a Tony Award and a Pulitzer Prize. In 1953, U.S. Speaking of December the 17th, 1953, I'll get into that in just a little bit after these installments. U.S. Federal Communications Commission approves RCA's black and white compatible color TV specifications. In 1954, WEAU TV Channel 13 in EAU Clare, Wisconsin begins broadcasting. In 1957, last episode of The Nat King Cole Show airs on NBC, canceled due to lack of national sponsorship. In 1960, Bob Merrill's musical Take Me Along, starring Jackie Gleason and Walter Pidgeon, closes at Schubert Theater, New York City, after 448 performances and a Tony Award for Gleason. In 1964, Goldfinger, third James Bond film starring Sean Connery and Honor Blackman, premieres in London. The game is on, says Sean Connery. In 1965, first concert event at Houston Astrodome. Judy Garland headlines with the Supremes as the opening act, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Way Up High. In 1967, WEDW-TV Channel 49 in Bridgeport, Connecticut begins broadcasting. In 1971, Diamonds Are Forever, seventh James Bond film, last starring Sean Connery, also starring Jill St. John in his first release in West Germany. In 1972, WGVC, now WUCX, TV Channel 35 in Grand Rapids, Missouri, first broadcast. In 1977, Elvis Costello and The Attractions, first U.S. TV appearance on Saturday Night Live. In 1983, Peggy Lee's one-woman show, Peg, closes at Lunt-Fontanne Theater, New York City, after 5 performances. In 1984, A Christmas Carol, directed by Clive Donner, starring George C. Scott, premieres in the U.S. In 1989, The Simpsons, created by Matt Groening, premieres on Fox TV as a full animated series with the episode Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire. Simpsons roasting on an open fire. Hank Arizona nipping at your door. In 1991, soap opera One Life to Live airs its 6,000th episode. Imagine going that long, 6,000 episodes. Holy crap. In 2003, The Return of the King, third Lord of the Rings films, is released. Makes US $72 million opening weekend. Second film to gross over $1 billion worldwide. In 2014, Sony Pictures cancels the release of The Interview starring Seth Rogen, Lizzie Kaplan, and James Franco after a cyber attack on the studio. I remember that like it was yesterday. In 2017, Star Wars The Last Jedi takes more than $450 million worldwide in its opening weekend, second largest opening in North America, $220 million. In 2018, Catriona Gray of the Philippines crowned 67th Miss Universe. In 2018 also, CBS announces former chief executive Les Moonves will not receive his $120 million exit payout. Also in 2018, U.S. poacher is sentenced to watch the film Bambi once a month during his year-long sentence in prison for killing hundreds of deer in Missouri. Now that is the perfect punishment for that kind of crime, I must say. That is poetry right there. And those are all the things that happened on this day in film and television for December the 17th. Now let's take a look at what happened in professional wrestling for December the 17th. Let's see what we have here. We have a picture of Kane and MVP. Looks like an Inferno match with fire around the ring. Let's see what happened in wrestling in years past. In 1906, Frank Gotch won the American Heavyweight Championship for the third time by defeating Fred Keel in Kansas City, Missouri. In 1979, in one of the lesser-known phantom title changes in wrestling history, Bob Backlund defeated Bobby Duncombe. Bobby Duncombe. What kind of joke can I come up with there? Anyway, he defeated Bobby Duncombe in a Texas death match in New York City to win the vacant WWF Championship. Duncombe. Yeah, I'm not over that at all. The title had been vacated 10 days earlier when Antonio Inoki battled to a draw with Backlund in Japan and refused to carry on as champion as a result. WWE did not recognize this title change, instead recognizing Backlund as champion from 1978 to 1983. Bobby Duncombe. Anyway, let's move on. In 1995, WWE In Your House 5 season's meetings took place at the Hershey Park Arena in Hershey, Pennsylvania. In the main event, Bret Hart defended the WWF Championship against the British Bulldog, and The Undertaker beat Mabel in a casket match. It's the name I'm still laughing about. Anyway, in 1999, Mike Awesome defeated Masato Tanaka to become the new ECW World Heavyweight Championship and an ECW on TNA taping in Nashville, Tennessee. In the year 2000, when we will make it up to you, the final Starrcade pay-per-view under the WCW umbrella took place at the MCI Center in Washington, D.C. The pay-per-view was bought by approximately 50,000 homes. This represented around 7% of the total budget for Starrcade just 3 years earlier in 1997. The main event saw Scott Steiner retain the WCW Heavyweight Championship against Sid Vicious. In addition, the Insiders, Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page, defeated the Perfect Event, Chuck Palumbo and Sean Stasiak, to win the WCW Tag Team Championship. The other title change saw Terry Funk win the Hardcore title from Crowbar. In the year 2005, Ring of Honor held Final Battle at the Inman Sports Complex in Edison, New Jersey. The co-main event saw Kenta defeat Loki to retain the JHC Junior Heavyweight Championship, and Bryan Danielson successfully defended the ROH World Championship against Namishi Makufuji. The ROH Tag Team Championships changed hands when Generation Next, Roderick Strong and Austin Aries, defeated Sal Ranuro and Tony Mamaluke. In 2006, WWE Armageddon took place at the Richmond Coliseum in Richmond, Virginia. Whilst the main event saw John Cena and Batista defeat Finlay and King Booker, the truly memorable moments happened on the undercard. In the opening match, Kane defeated MVP in the second ever Inferno match. In one of the most graphic accidental scenes in WWE history, Joey Mercury had his face and nose smashed with a ladder when a spot went wrong in a fatal four-way ladder match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. In the match, Paul London and Brian Kendrick retained the titles against Mercury and his eminent partner Johnny Nitro, the Hardy Boys, and the team of William Regal and Dave Taylor. And I remember that visual like it was yesterday when Joey just had that absolutely monstrosity happen to him. That's all I have to say. In 2012, WWE Raw saw that this year's Slammy Awards presentations. John Cena was named Superstar of the Year, with Ryback winning the Newcomer of the Year award. This was also the event at which Big E made his main roster debut. And look where he is now, on commentary, doing the pre-show, which is a good gig for him, I must say. In 2017, WWE Clash of Champions took place at the TD Bank North Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. The main event saw AJ Styles successfully defend the WWE Championship against Jinder Mahal. In the night's only title change, Dolph Ziggler won the Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match against Bobby Roode and the defending champion Baron Corbin. And we have some notable wrestling birthdays for December the 17th. We have Adrian Lionheart McCollum, born on this day in 1982, and Nick Dinsmore, also known as Eugene, was born on December the 17th, 1975. Those are the things that happened in the world of wrestling for December the 17th. And for the final installment for On This Day, we're going to take a look at music for December the 17th. There's a picture of Adele right there, one of the really good singers of the 2010s. And let's see what we have here. Adele named Billboard's top artist of 2012. On this day, in December the 17th, 2012, Billboard named Adele as its top artist of 2012, while her record-breaking sophomore LP 21 was named Album of the Year by the publication, and I should say record, by the way. Featuring hits like Rolling in the Deep and Someone Like You, 21 topped the charts in more than 30 countries and became the best-selling album of the year worldwide for both 2011 and 2012. Many observers credited the British artist's monumental album with helping to revitalize the global music industry, and that she did. In 1971, going back a few decades earlier, David Bowie released his fourth studio album, Hunky Dory. In contrast to the harder guitar-driven songs of his previous albums, Hunky Dory found the shape-shifting artist opting for more pop-forward piano-driven melodies as heard in the hits Changes and Life on Mars. The album also featured a new backing band, consisting of guitarist Mick Ronson, bassist Trevor Bolder, and drummer Mick Woodsmansey, soon to be known as the Spiders from Mars. In 1963, James Carroll at Washington, D.C.'s WWDC became the first DJ to broadcast a Beatles single on American radio with I Wanna Hold Your Hand. According to the New York Times, when he played the song, the tremendous response helped pursue Capitol Records to release the disc in the United States earlier than it had planned. In 1982, Karen Carpenter made her final appearance with the Carpenters, performing at the Buckley School in Los Angeles. The intimate set found the brother-sister duo performing for approximately 50 children, including Karen's twin godchildren. Sadly, Carpenter passed away several weeks later. In 1973, Slade scored their sixth #1 hit in the UK with Merry Christmas, Everybody. The single sold more than 1 million copies upon its release and has since become a holiday staple in Britain. In 1962, Bob Dylan arrived in England for the first time following an invitation from TV director Philip Saville. While in New York, Saville caught a performance by the future folk legend and asked him to take part in a BBC television drama entitled Madhouse on Castle Street. The trip marked Dylan's first foray outside of America. And in 2010, Captain Beefheart passed away at the age of 69. The American avant-garde artist led a frequently changing ensemble known as the Magic Band, with whom he recorded 13 studio albums between 1967 and 1982. We have some birthdays in the world of music for December the 17th. We have Eddie Kendricks from The Temptations. He was born in 1939. Born in 1942, Paul Butterfield. In 1949, Paul Rogers from Free. From the Wailers, Carlton Barrett was born on December the 17th, 1950. Born in 1958, Mike Mills from REM. In 1959, from The Replacements, Bob Stinson was born on December 17th. In 1962, was Sarah Dallin from Bananarama, was born on this day in 1962. In 1973, Eddie Fisher was born from One Republic, and from Paramore, Taylor York was born on December the 17th, 1989. Those are all the events that happened on this day in the world of music. Now, let's get into some Christmas stuff, shall we? Seeing as that there's going to be no episode next week, because next week will be Christmas Eve, I figure that I will go over a Christmas topic right here, and it's back-to-back music categories as we go along here. So I'm going to share screen, and we're going to look at an article from TimeOut about the 50 best Christmas songs of all time. Let's see what's on this list. I'll probably breeze through a lot of them and talk a little bit more once I get into the top 20 portion of this list. So let's do this. So according to TimeOut, here are the top 50 best Christmas songs of all time. Let's see what we have here. Now it says here, as much as Christmas trees, turkey, and mildly overworked Santa have become staples of the festive season, so has the music that soundtracks the cheer-soaked time of year. Christmas songs don't just endure. Many end up becoming the crown jewels of an artist's entire career. From golden oldies by Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, and Bing Crosby, to 80s icons like Wham and the Pogues, to modern favorites from Ariana Grande and Leona Lewis, these tunes have embedded themselves into our sensational rituals. And what is the best-selling Christmas song of all time? Well, that honor still belongs to Bing Crosby's 1942 classic, White Christmas, with over 50 million sales. It's not only the biggest Christmas record in history, it is the best-selling song of all time. Full stop. Guinness World Records first crowned it back in 1955, and it's held on to the title ever since. So let's look at the top 50 here. It goes over the most streamed Christmas song of all time. That is Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. Machel Crosby and Pure Sales. The streaming has turned into a seasonal juggernaut. So that's pretty much it there. Any new Christmas songs from 2025? We have Leon Bridges and Nora Jones have teamed up for the duet This Christmas I'm Coming Home, while the Jonas Brothers dropped Coming Home This Christmas from their upcoming seasonal special, A Very Jonas Christmas Movie. Time will tell whether they graduate to classic status and earn a spot in future rankings. So let's see what the top 50 are. Glittery by Casey Musgraves. I don't know what that song is at all. Number 49, DJ Play a Christmas Song by Cher. I know who Cher is. I don't know what that song is at all. Let's see. Number 48, Just Like Christmas by Low. Again, another one I don't know at all. Number 47, In Dustly Jubilo by Mike Oldfield. Again, another one I don't know at all. Number 46, 2,000 Miles by the Pretenders. In 1945, Winter Wonderland by Bryson Tiller. I don't know who Bryson Tiller is, but I do know the Christmas carol Winter Wonderland. Number 44, Dear Santa. Bring Me a Man This Christmas by the Weather Girls. I don't know that song at all. Number 43, O Come Emmanuel by Sufjan Stevens. Number 42, Father Christmas by the Kinks. Number 41, Sleigh Ride by the Rodnettes. That was number 41. Okay, number 40, Zet Hughes, Santa Claus by Louis Armstrong. Number 39, I know this one very well. This is one of my favorites. Peace on Earth, The Little Drummer Boy by Bing Crosby and David Bowie. Number 38, Rudolph Run by Chuck Berry. That is a classic. Number 37, Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto by James Brown. That song title is completely outdated, but I know the song very well. Number 36, there he is. Christmas without you. Elvis Presley, Blue Christmas, number 36. I would have that song as my number one favorite Christmas song of all time right there. To me, that is the best. Number 35, Christmas is Hollis by Run DMC. Number 34, Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses. Number 33, Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid. I know that one very well. Number 32, Happy Xmas, War is Over by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Number 31, Frosty the Snowman by Cocteau Twins. Number 30, Christmas Rappin' by Curtis Blow. Number 29, Driving Home for Christmas by Chris Rea. Number 28, Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms. Number 27, Players Ball by Outcasts. Number 26, Christmas Was Better in the 80s by the Future Heads. Number 25, A Nonsense Christmas by Sabrina Carpenter. I heard that Sabrina Carpenter is making waves again in music. Good for her. Number 24, One More Sleep by Leona Lewis. Number 23 on this list is Another Day by East 17. Number 22, 8 Days of Christmas by Destiny's Child. Number 21, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee, one of my favorites of all time. Number 20, River by Joni Mitchell. Number 19, Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Jackson 5, another classic. That is an absolute classic. Number 18, Child's Christmas in Wales by John Cale. At number 17, Dominic the Donkey by Lou Monte. Number 16, Christmas Tree Farm by Taylor Swift. I don't know that song at all. Number 15, Underneath the Tree by Kelly Clarkson. Number 14, Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. I know that one very well. Number 13, Christmas Will Break Your Heart by LCD Sound System. I don't know that song at all. Number 12, Must Be Santa by Kurt Weill. And number 11, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day by Wizard. So let's see what the top 10 are on this list. Number 10, Step Into Christmas by Elton John. It says here, Sir Elton announces, Welcome to my Christmas song as the top of this piano-driven banger, signaling to us all that this is a Christmas song with zero ulterior motives except to become a Yolandi classic. Mission accomplished. Number 9, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas by Bing Crosby. A classic, an absolute classic. It says here, the power of Christmas nostalgia itself is greater than real memories. Hence, all of us can hark back with Bing on the Irving Berlin pinned 40s number to a white Christmas, just like the ones we used to know, even if our true past is full of crushing disappointments. Number 8, Baby, It's Cold Outside by Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. And it's still politically correct, I might add. It says here, Queen, Ella Fitzgerald, and King Louis Armstrong are a completely necessary part of every Christmas. They actually have a whole Christmas album together, but Baby It's Cold Outside is the absolute classic from their repertoire. A twinkling piano and a double bass are all that's needed for their soft, mellow harmonies. But whack the whole album on and you've got the perfect soundtrack to your Christmas nibbles and cocktails evening. Number 7, The Power of Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It says here, like E17's Stay Another Day or the film Die Hard, Frankie Goes to Hollywood's The Power of Love isn't about Christmas per se, but it's nonetheless inextricably linked to the season of good cheer. Not by accident either. The video actually features the nativity of Jesus, a gesture of harrowing interness clearly intended as a somewhat ironic response to the Liverpoolian provocateurs' scandalous early videos. But the song has a powerful spiritual sincerity that would probably preserve it as a classic even without the visuals. Number 6, Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano. Feliz Navidad is a criminally underrated Christmas song, despite apparently being one of the most played across the world. Absolutely. It's been around for years and years, originally released way back in 1970, but its jaunty, cheerful energy has stood the test of time. The trumpets, the classics, well wishes, belts in Spanish, the strum of the Puerto Rican corito. What a catchy, merry treat. Whack it on your Christmas playlists. It'll really spread the joy. Number 5, Christmas, Baby Please Come Home by Darlene Love. A perfect Christmas song has to strike the right balance of melancholy and cheer because, after all, Christmas is all about contradictions. It's pigs in blankets with a side of family resentment. Christmas, Baby Please Come Home is just the ticket. It's got jingly bells, a bombastic Motown horn section, lyrics filled with heartbreak and yearning, and some banging vocals from Darlene Love. Number 4 on this list, Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande. Released in 2014, Ari didn't score a Mariah-level mega hit with this peppy, upbeat ode to joy, but she came closer than almost any other pop star in the 30-ish years since All I Want for Christmas Is You, unlike Kelly Clarkson, who scored a memorable hit by channeling Darlene Love. Ari's song fits right in her catalog of bops, meaning you can comfortably transition between this plea to Saint Nick and her recent hit about a late-night Tantera session with relative ease. I mean. Number 3 on this list, Fairy Tale of New York by The Pogues and Christine McCool. When was the last time you properly listened to Christine McCool and the Pogues' epic Big Apple set Fable? Shut your eyes and give it a go. And if you aren't a nervous wreck by the fade out, your heart, like that jumper from your nan, is 2 sizes too small. Fairy Tale is a perfect 4-minute narrative of hope, despair, and heartbreak. And despite the profanity, it ends with love. Number 2, Last Christmas, I give you my heart, but the very next day, you give it away. Number 2, Last Christmas by Wham. It says here, a ballad of doomed romance. Last Christmas features sleigh bells and synths, plus some truly memorable knitwear in the video. But what really sets Last Christmas apart is George Michael's heart on sleeve delivery. His genuine heartbreak horror. My God, I thought you were someone to rely on. And wistful, sexy whispers. The words Merry Christmas never sounded so sultry. And according to TimeOut, the number 1 greatest Christmas song of all time is, of course, the most overplayed Christmas song in history. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Oh my God. I really should have known. Yes. And it says here, yes, she becomes somewhat of a meme in recent years. But they say that you can hear Mariah Carey's defrosting as soon as it hits September. Ain't that the truth? And the fact of the matter is, this song is about the most surefire way to know it's Christmas, wherever you are. Buying socks in H&M, Mariah's playing. Pursuing gingerbread houses at a Christmas market, she's on, folks. Watching Love Actually for the 5th time this year, she's a coming in the last scene. Even if you think you hate this Christmas banger, you actually love it. You know you do. Admit it. It wouldn't be a Christmas without it after all. Mariah, we thank you for your service. Long live this massively overhyped, overpraised, overrated Christmas festive tune. Need I say more? And I do believe it is about that time for the main event of episode 51 of the Rock on Wild show. That is my review for Michael Mann's Heat, which came out in 1995. So Heat follows the conflict between a Los Angeles Police Department robbery homicide detective, played by Al Pacino, and a career thief, played by Robert De Niro, while also dictating its effect on their professional relationships and personal lives. Now, here's the thing with Heat, with this movie. Heading into this, the first time I was about to watch it, I was aware of its existence, but I didn't fully grasp the buzz around this movie. Like, it was low. I knew about it, but it was very low key. And I didn't see this movie at the theater when it came out 30 years ago. I was only a child then. But I did watch it for the first time a good number of years ago. And holy crap. This movie delivered on the buzz I was expecting. This was incredible, to say the very least. And what caught me by surprise after watching this movie in a really good way is that this has an all-star studded cast going for it. You have not only Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, but you also have Val Kilmer, Jon Voight, Tom Sizemore, Ashley Judd, Natalie Portman, Hank Azaria, Danny Trejo, and Henry Rollins, to name many. Just the cast of actors on paper alone in Heat is outstanding in itself. Major points for that. And this movie, to me, defines the word cool. To me, the best thing about Heat is that for a damn near 3 hour long film, I think the runtime is actually 2 hours and 50 minutes with the end credits. This movie goes by really quick. It only feels like it's a 2 hour movie, not a 2 hour, 50-minute movie. Because of the way it paces itself, there's never a dull moment throughout this entire runtime. The action sequences, as well as the individual scenes, to me really stick with you after the first viewing. And they are completely memorable. From the final standoff with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro at the airport. You get that. You get how all that played out. Another memorable scene was the bank robbery scene, and immediately following that, the shootout on the street outside of the bank, which had this bombastic, booming sound that made you feel like you were there in the thick of it. The stakeout scene, where De Niro is looking right at the camera that Pacino is staring on. Two of them locking eyes without actually locking eyes with each other. Amazing. Al Pacino running down the stairs like there is no tomorrow, I think, is one of the most underrated scenes in this movie. And it's also a scene that really sticks with me as well. And of course, the most famous scene, where Robert De Niro and Al Pacino are talking in a coffee shop. Al Pacino, also another one, Al Pacino versus his TV, and so much more. But those are the ones that really stand out to me when it comes to this movie. I love how Al Pacino and Robert De Niro really don't outshine the other when it comes to their acting and their performances, and also their screen time as well. Both have, when it comes to their characters, they both have similar personalities, yet their occupations, what they do for a living, are completely polar opposites of each other. So that dynamic, I think, plays off really well here, where both actors, as Robert De Niro is a professional bank robber. He knows exactly what he's doing. He does this for a living. And Al Pacino, he's a professional in law enforcement. He knows what to do when it comes to law enforcement as well. He is an absolute go-getter. And with all due respect to Robert De Niro, who I thought was incredible in this movie, to me, the real star in this is Al Pacino, because he goes through so much stuff as a character in this movie that I can't even fathom. And also for a couple of particular scenes where Pacino shows off his incredible humorous overacting ability, and you will know those scenes when you see them. Trust me on that. Pacino has a wife, soon to be ex-wife, and a daughter played by a young Natalie Portman, which was only her second movie. Her first one was Leon the Professional. And you see that family dynamic is functional at times and dysfunctional at times. And you see that play out very well. And you see it as if you are a fly on the wall when you're really getting into their personal lives in this. And you also have Robert De Niro, who develops a relationship with Amy Bremen, who at one point, if you didn't know, was Amy in Judging Amy, an old television series from the 90s. And again, much like Pacino's personal life in this movie, De Niro's personal life also feels like you're a fly on the wall looking into this romance between De Niro and Bremen. And I thought these two actors have really good chemistry with each other. You buy into the romance, but you also take a look at Robert De Niro's character and see that he's more committed to being a bank robber than he is being in a relationship. But their back and forth with one another, to me, is one of the most underrated aspects when it comes to Heat. There's also a relationship involving Val Kilmer and Ashley Judd in this movie that ties into the main story that plays out really well by the end of it. And I love how the story doesn't deviate. The story in general in Heat, it really doesn't deviate from plot point to plot point at all. While it doesn't have many plot points going on in the film, it's very focused, and the movie knows when to showcase one story while not forgetting about this other story over here and another story over there. And it all connects up until the very end of this movie. One in particular I really, really like, where Robert De Niro has a little bit of a conflict with one of the people that he hired to do a job, and this guy goes rogue, and he's very evil, sick, twisted. He's a woman beater and a killer. So you have that there, and you have Robert De Niro, like, he needs to make a decision by the end of this movie. Where does he go get the bad guy that he wants to get, or does he want to ride off in the sunset with his woman? What does he choose? Well, you have to see the movie to see what happens. And like I said, there's a lot of story in this movie, and because the movie moves at a really brisk pace, to me, there is enough plot in the movie to justify its runtime. The way I look at Heat, this is the Avengers Endgame, long before the Marvel Cinematic Universe was ever created or even thought of. When it comes to negatives, nitpicks, issues with Heat, that would be a chore to come up with them. I really don't have any. I really, really don't. So overall, Heat, to me, this movie is very influential to the crime genre. You look at a movie like The Dark Knight from Christopher Nolan, and you can see that Nolan's influence came from this movie. Heat, to me, is a trailblazer for crime movies to come. This is filled with tension and suspense throughout. This is very much a character-driven cops and robbers kind of movie. The writing, the editing, the cinematography, the action scenes, the sound, the performances, the characters, the story, every single element in this movie delivers and goes the extra 10 miles. Heat is one of my favorite movies of all time. And this is one of those rare occurrences what I would consider a film a masterpiece. And this is that movie. I am going to give Heat 100 points out of 100. And if you saw Heat, what did you think about it? Feel free to leave those comments here in the comment section below. And this has been episode number 51 of the Rock Out Wild Show. And I am your host, Just Mike. I'm going to leave you all with a quote. And it goes something like this. Healing is a journey, not a timeline. It asks you to honor the days you feel strong as well as the days you feel fragile. Today, remind yourself that progress is not always visible. Sometimes healing takes the form of small decisions, subtle shifts in thinking, or the simple act of taking care of yourself when you feel overwhelmed. Be patient with the parts of you that are still learning to trust, to forgive, and to let go. You are not meant to rush your own restoration. Healing blooms naturally when you treat yourself with compassion. Trust the process even when it feels slow. Your heart knows how to heal if you give it the space and softness it deserves. I'm going to put the camera on one more time and talk about the programming notes for the next couple of weeks. There will not be an episode of the Rock Out Wild Show next week because it's Christmas Eve. And there will not be an episode of the Rock Out Wild Show because it's New Year's Eve. So the Rock Out Wild Show is going to go off for a couple of weeks, but I will be back for the next year, 2026, and we'll see you then. And on a final note, to all of you watching the Rock Out Wild Show, get plenty of rest and always do your best.